What's up, Sarsaparilla? It's your girl Sassy J, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back, guys. It is time for another Love Island review. But before I get into the video, I'm gonna ask you guys to do the do's. Give the video a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please like and subscribe. So, guys, we had part 2 of the Grafties. Yes, part two. And boy, Harry was exposed on all levels. Okay, honey? All levels, and I'm so here for it because that boy done got on my last teeny wincy, insy bitsy, shafincy lincy nerves. Okay, I'm so over this whole thing with Harry. But before I get into that, let me just go through the Grafty nominations, right? So the first one was best no filtered moment, on best no filter moment, right? So Tony and Shakira won that, and the comment they won with was when Dijon made Meg his girlfriend, and Tony and Shakira was sitting in the den, and she went boyfriend and girlfriends, you know, and Shakira just smiled and said, you know what, Meg is happy, I'm happy for Meg, and that's all I'm gonna say. Can I just say this, because I actually forgot to say this when I actually watched that episode, and when I watched that episode and I heard Shakira's comment, in my head I had thought to myself, I feel like Shakira low-key said that just in case there's another movie night .2. She just want to make sure that she's not... she wants to make sure that she's not brought up in any kind of clip saying anything about the whole situation, right? I was going to say that and I actually forgot about it. But when this came on, that's the first thing I remembered. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if that's the reason why she didn't make much of a comment about it. I don't know. But obviously, Meg and Dijon did not like the comment. Well, Meg tried to look at the positive on it and said, you know what, she did say that she was happy for me, Dijon obviously was not happy, especially with the explanation of what Shakira was saying, that she just thought that it was quite sudden. I mean, we're seeing it as if it just happened, but apparently it was 2 weeks difference between them going exclusive and then becoming boyfriend and girlfriends. And at the end of the day, we see it all the time on Love Island, where people go exclusive and then towards the end they become boyfriend and girlfriends. So it's not something big for me. I don't think it was quick in any way, shape or form, to be honest with you. And at the end of the day, it's their decision. It's their decision at the end of the day. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously there was a lot of like bits revealed with Tony and Shakira as well. And I'm not going to lie to you. And I say, and guys, let me just point out, right? What I do like about you guys is that you are not afraid to basically disagree with me in the comments. Because at the end of the day, I like that we're able to do that. And we're able to do that, and we're able to do it respectfully. I love it, guys, because at the end of the day, I know that my thought process and the way I think about things and the way I analyze things might not be the same way that somebody else does. And it's always good to hear different perspectives. So I just want to say to you guys, like, listen, I actually really do enjoy when we have these conversations, and especially when you give me a different point of view. So I love how we're able to agree and also to disagree in the comments. So big up on the damn self for that. But anyways, there was a lot of shock moment for Dijon because he feels like, you know, him and Tony and Shakira gets on very well, and he feels like they've slagged him off behind his back on many occasions. I'm going to say this, to be honest. Dijon, I feel like, played a lot of games in there. Me personally, I think he played a lot of games in there, and I do think that he never took into consideration his feelings and how the way he behaved would affect Meg's feelings, I should say, not his feelings. He didn't take into account Meg's feelings. That's what I meant to say. And how his actions would affect her. I feel like he did go about doing what he wanted to do to get to know the other girls without a care in the world for Meg at times. I do believe this. And I do think that he has engaged in conversations where he might have said one or two things about different people. But I will say to you, I don't think that Dijon has been nasty to the girls in particular. I don't think that he has been nasty. Do you see what I'm saying? I feel like some of the stuff that I've heard him said behind them, he tend to say to them. I think the only thing that I think that he's done majorly wrong is how he behaves and how he tries to cover up his behavior or even try to manipulate Meg. Do you know what I'm saying? But I don't think he's been nasty to the girls in particular. But they have been, do you know what I'm saying? But you know, women will have their opinion when you see a guy behaving a certain way. We all get triggered, don't we? We're like, oh, look, man, like a dog, drunkish dog shit there. Do you know what I'm saying? We all do it, do you know what I'm saying? But obviously for him, he felt like it was a bit of a shocker because he felt like he was getting on with the girls. But obviously, seeing some of the clips, he's just like, wow, wow. But anywho, Shakira got to see Harry's conversation where he made the comment saying that he feels like he can get her back if he wanted to, right? I'm glad she got to see that clip because if she was falling, or if she was considering, or if her vulnerable side was winning and pushing her towards Harry, I wanted her to see this for her to get that moment of clarity to be like, hell nah. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that clip would do it. You know what I'm saying? That clip would do it. Because at the end of the day, from what I can gather with Shakira does not want to be the person that looks like she's running back or she tolerates any and everything, right? So I know her seeing that clip, even if she was about to lose her mind and considering his proposals and his whatever he was doing, I know seeing that is enough to make her think, nope, I'm not going to give him that over me. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad she actually saw that. Anywho, when they were discussing the whole reason behind the comment that she made, Tony said that she felt like Dee makes decisions to play a game, basically, right? I think it was Ty, somebody that said, to make Megan his girlfriend. How is that? You know what I'm saying? But I get where Tony's coming from, because realistically, like, I could have told you that Dijon was going to ask Meg to be his girlfriend. Remember, I told you guys he was never going to go exclusive until he came back from Castro Moore, because obviously he needed to kind of like, showed that he showed strengths and he was good in Casa, and then wow, I come back, I'm gonna shut it down because he's gotten over the biggest temptations. So I already knew that he was going to ask her to be exclusive and he was going to go down that road eventually. So I do get where Tony is coming from when she said that. But realistically, I just feel like the issue that is happening with Tony and Shakira is that every time you see a clip of them talking badly about the other housemates, it's not just a little bit of something. It's a bit extreme. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a bit extreme, and it does come across really nasty. I said it yesterday, and I'm saying it again. It does come across real nasty. And I know everybody gossip. And everybody talk about everybody, but it does come across nasty. And the thing is, I heard Tony saying that, the girls don't talk to nobody, or they exclude people or something. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's not just one-sided. It's them as well, because if you were to look at Yasmin, Shakira, and Tony, they have their own clique. Do you see what I'm saying? And they do their own thing. So it's not one-sided. I think it's the problem. You cannot be blamed on one set of people and not the other, because everybody has a role to play in it. Because I've seen it from both sides where they've all kept to themselves. Do you see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's not, you can't pinpoint the blame on just one side. And I'm just going to say, the girls, they don't seem to be learning from anything, because we had movie night and then they discussed and they slagged off the girls again. Obviously, everybody, like I said, everybody was upset, and I understand it, because when you're upset, you say different things. But then we come right after the Grafties, and then Yasmin joins the club and start to do the slagging off, which I never saw Yasmin doing that to people before, right? And I felt like you can talk about a situation, and when you talk about that situation, you can voice how you feel about it, and you can do it without bringing another person down or slagging them off. I'm just going to say that because I truly believe that, because sometimes when I'm angry, yes, I go crazy with saying what I want to say, but realistically, for me, I have to agree, you can talk about a scenario without slagging somebody off. Don't get me wrong, I will cuss you out, but I'm going to cuss you out first to your face. And then whatever comes after, it's just what's remaining that's rolling off my tongue. But bear in mind, everything that you're hearing behind you, you've just heard it before. It's just me repeating it because I'm angry, so I'm repeating it. And most of the time, it's not me slagging you off. You'll hear me swearing, because the bad word, them are going to come flying after one. It's going to be like a giant up. You ever hear about giant up bad word? The B, the C, the R, the every single thing. That's all you're going to hear from me. It's not me slagging you off. But I feel like they did not learn from that situation that just happened, because you were just called out for slagging somebody off and bringing somebody down, but then you come back and you're slagging somebody off and you're bringing somebody down. Like, are we going to learn, or is the cycle going to keep going round and round? But anyways, guys, I guess I know we're going to have this out in the comment, but I'm loving her a long time. When I love him, I still love her. Anyways, let's move on. So unfinished business. Connor and Megan won that. Obviously, with, you know, when they were getting to know each other, and he gave her the little thing that she's still wearing and all that kind of stuff, all cutesy dootsy. Obviously, we know that Harry was all up in unfinished business. They showed the clip with him and Emma when he told Emma, yeah, of course I love you. You know, of course I still love you. I will always have love for you. Do you know what? I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I feel like when Harry said, of course I love you, I feel like, you know, immediately he said, I still got love for you. I feel like that was his way of trying to correct what he said. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I honestly don't think that Harry actually wants Emma. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't feel like he wants Emma. But like I said, I feel like even if Harry didn't want her at the time, he would have just continued flirting a little bit, because he doesn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Well, that's what he thinks, because what he does, he ends up hurting everybody's feelings in the end. You know what I'm saying? But I think that he just kept going on with it. But I feel like when he said, I love you, of course I still love you. I don't think he meant it in a way that I wanted to get back with you. Do you see what I'm saying? Because he's just like, you know, we've been together for a long time. We live together. Yes, there's always going to be love. So, do you know what? Even though I see that, I don't. And I do feel like he flirted with Emma. Do you know what I'm saying? And he shouldn't have. I just feel like with it, watching that clip, like, I feel like it was just him trying to, you know, just going with the flow and not trying to make Emma feel bad. That's what I felt when it happened originally. And going back over it, I still think the same way about the situation. However, it will not come across that way to Helena. And it did not come across that way to Helena, because he was flirting. And at the end of the day, if you're going to close something off, you stop flirting. But he did not do that. And you can't flirt with your ex, especially when you're trying to move on with somebody else. You cannot do that. And also, the next clip that was shown was Harry and Shakira. When Harry and Shakira was sat in that little corner, and he said to her, you know, do you think that your experience would have been better with me? And she said no. And then he said, I think it would have been better, right? I will say that when I was watching that clip, my understanding of it was that he was saying that her experience would have been better if she was with him. I don't think he was saying his experience would have been better if he was with her. Do you know what I'm saying? So in his defense, in that moment there, I'm going to say, I don't think that he was talking about his. And Shakira thought the same thing as well, because Shakira said, in all fairness, he was actually talking about my experience. However, once again, why are you saying this to somebody that you were coupled up with, that you have now found out that they have feelings for you? Why are you saying that? Why are you trying to jump onto the fence to try to shake that vulnerable, you know, little strength that she has, that she's trying to keep her head above water, that fact that she's trying to fight with her inner feelings, trying to fight between her heart and her head, knowing that, yes, I still have feelings for him, but no, this guy does not deserve me. But you have to insert yourself and say all these things when you know that she fancies you. You should have not been doing that. Again, he's flirting. Why are you flirting with somebody the day after you became exclusive? Why are you flirting? Do you see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I honestly can't feel sorry for Harry, because he keeps digging himself in holes after holes and after holes, deeper and deeper and deeper. And Harry has proven that the only person he cares about is Harry. Do you see what I'm saying? It's Harry. That's all he cares about, because we can see all these clips and it's just like he never learns. He did it with Angel. And I know, listen, let me tell you something. We've called out Dejan on this so many times, but Harry is much worse than Dejan. Because let me tell you something. Dejan will flirt. He will flirt. And then he just, boop, stop with the flirting and then acts like he's a good boy right after. He does it. Not Harry. not Harry. Do you see what I'm saying? Dijon, when Meg say to him, well, you have to prioritize, boop, cuts it off. Game or not, he cuts it off. Do you see what I'm saying? Harry, no. Harry lies. Harry pretends. Harry leads these girls on. He flirts non-stop. And he flirts in a way where he tries to convince these girls that he's all into them. And he wants to be with them. Do you see what I'm saying? And then the girls, all of them going around hating each other. Everybody wants to hate each other, except hating the one person that is the cause of all the issue. Because that's why Helena and what's her name has a problem, and Shakira. You know what I'm saying? Over a man. That's why Tony and Helena had a problem over a man. At the end of the day, ladies, when are we going to unite as women and stop hating each other over a bloody man? That's what it comes down to. Do you know, me seeing Helena hugging Shakira tonight, asking if she's okay when she got emotional, this is what we need to see on our screens. Unity. Female uniting. Do you know what I'm saying? Caring about each other. You know, as females, we bring each other down more than, to be honest, listen, nobody brings down another female like another female. And we need to stop that shit. We need to stop that shit. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if men are out there trying to make us look like shit, trying to make us look like fool, trying to play with us, trying to use us, trying to abuse us, why are we doing the same to each other? I just don't get it. Why are we doing it? And it's not just on Love Island. Sometimes I go on Instagram and I see a girl might post a video and I go into the comments. I hear people, I just break my neck to go into comments because I don't know what she wearing and oh, she looks like a heifer and she looks like a this and she looks like a that. It's always the sisters. Why are we hating on each other? We should build each other up, uplift each other and stop dragging each other down. So for me, one of the best moments in tonight was seeing those two girls hug each other to comfort each other. Anyways, let me go on. So obviously we saw the Emma and Harry. We saw the Shakira and Harry. But ultimately, unfinished business went to Meghan and Connor. Okay, let's move on. So most emotional moment. So Cash took this one home. And I think Cash took this one home because, you know, it took a lot out of him to show those emotions. And you could tell that he was very embarrassed. And he was not only just embarrassed because of what Tony did, but also because he was also crying. Do you see what I'm saying? So he didn't want to be crying. He was embarrassed on more than one level in the situation. Because even when he was doing it, he was making the joke and said, I didn't know AI was so good. I'm not going to lie, that was actually funny. Do you know what I'm saying? But it just shows that men, they are taught almost that it's weak to show emotions. Like they shouldn't show emotions. Do you know what I'm saying? Showing emotions is not a sign of weakness. To be able to be in your emotions and embrace them, and to be able to cry or to talk about something that troubles you deeply, it is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength because you're able to be vulnerable. You know how hard it is to be vulnerable, especially for me? I can tell you. Do you see what I'm saying? It's really hard. So being able to allow yourself, do you know what I'm saying, to open up like that and to show that side of you, that takes a lot of strength. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of men, especially black men, they feel like they're not allowed to show emotions. They're not allowed to cry. As if you cry, you're a sissy. If you cry, you is a simp. If you cry, you're a gal. If you cry, do you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, they have blood running through their veins the same way we have blood running through our veins. Do you see what I'm saying? And do you know what? That's why I kind of really felt even more for Cash, because I knew how hard it was for him to be able to like express those emotions to another person, knowing that he's been watched by millions of people. Do you know what I'm saying? So he took that one home, and rightfully so, to be honest with you. But saying that, I thought that Tony could have easily took that one home as well, because Tony had some breakdown moments. Tony was trying to be strong in there, but she had a lot of breakdown moments where things really got her. And I'm not going to lie to you, only a man can really break you like that, boy, because she went in strong, 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 and Harrison broke that girl down. I'm telling you, broke that girl down. But anyways, within that moment, Blue and Tony had a little bit of a tiff, because Blue said to Tony, Tony, how does that make you feel seeing that? And Tony did not want to get into that conversation. She said, you know how I feel. Do you see what I'm saying? You know how I feel. You've watched it. I did feel bad. And I think, here's the thing. I feel like he is within right to ask that question if he wants to ask that question. Because at the end of the day, there's been times where things were obvious and other people, including Tony, ask questions like that. Or not asking questions, but make statements about it. So he's within his rights to do so. I do think the conversation when he pulled Tony, though, and he was going at Tony, I didn't really get it, because Tony was just saying, I'm not gonna go into this with you, and he was getting more and more like upset, like, oh, you did it on me, you belittling me, or you did. I'm like, calm down, bro. Like, she's not even entertaining this conversation, but yet still you still want to have a go at her because she's saying to you, I'm not going to talk to you about something that you are not included in. This is about me and Cash. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if you want to have your opinion, but I don't necessarily need to be saying anything more on this subject. I felt like that was such a weird interaction. I don't know what Blue thought he was going to get from that. I don't understand why Blue thought he would. I was expecting him that he was going to say, I apologize for earlier. I don't know whether he's just trying to catch up on his 15 minutes of fame. I really don't know what that was, because at the end of the day, if I was Tony, I would have been telling him to F off a long time. Do you see what I'm saying? So she was really calm within that moment, because I would have told him to F off a long time. Because don't get me wrong, he can ask while they're doing the grafties or whatever. Ask what you want to ask. Have your opinion if you want to have your opinion. You know what I'm saying? But I already told you that I'm not having this conversation with you. So at the end of the day, for me to tell you I'm not going to have this conversation with you, and I tell you to butt out because it doesn't concern you, and then you come and pull me, and you're not pulling me to tell me, okay, maybe I should have butt out. You're pulling me to continue to wanting to have this conversation, and then you want to have a go at me because I'm not engaging in this conversation. That makes no sense to me. I just don't see the point of Blue, and I really would have, if I was Tony, I would have told him to F off. I'm being completely honest. But anyways, Cash took that one home. Shakira one got showed as well, when the whole thing with Connor and Harry and Harrison, and I stick with that. I don't think the boys did anything wrong in that situation. The only thing I felt like they could have done differently was that they could have mentioned this conversation to Connor. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they said that Connor is their friend. They should have mentioned this to Connor and said, you know what? We had this conversation and this is what happened. That's the only thing I felt like they should have done. Connor probably should have not found out in that moment. Do you know what I'm saying? But like I said, when Harrison gave his reasoning, he was within his right to give that reason, and he didn't actually go into details. That was Shakira that actually went into details about what was actually said. So I don't think that they did wrong in that situation. I do think that she overreacted in that situation, and at the end of the day, not only did she overreact in that situation about the fact that she's trying to say that she didn't really have any feelings for Harry, but then now we find out she has feelings for Harry. So at the end of the day, it makes her overreaction pointless. Do you see what I'm saying? And it made sense now why she was overreacting like that, is because it was the truth. And she probably just could not handle the truth in that moment. But anyways, we're not gonna linger on that one. We're gonna move on. So the final one was the critics' choice. And the critics' choice, they said that obviously they wanted to get like an outsider's view, because both Blue and Megan watched it on the outside. So they wanted them to choose the winner for it. So Harry and Shakira took this one home. And to be honest with you, I was not surprised at all. Because this showed quite a lot. It showed the conversation with Shakira and Harry sitting down. And obviously Connor had asked Harry about this conversation. What did they talk about? And Harry basically lied about it. He lied to Helena about it as well. And the comment that really struck me in this bit, when Helena said to him, like, at the end of the day, she's basically done, and you're gonna keep losing. You're gonna keep going back and forth until you end up with nobody, not her and not Shakira. And he said, well, I came in here alone, so I can go back home alone. I was like, wow. that just shows that there's just no remorse. Like, take accountability for your actions. For him to say that, I thought to myself, that is just below the belt. At the end of the day, Harry is 30 years old, but is still acting like a child. But anyways, one of the clips that was shown was Shakira and Harry sitting at the end of the stairs. And Harry saying to her, I think we should, you know, hang out on the outside. And then Shakira saying, you know, you were my best sleeping buddy because, you know, we'd cuddle for 10 minutes and that be it. And then he was saying, you know, you enjoyed Couple Up with me, didn't you? I know you enjoyed it. And then she went, well, you know, after, and I want to make an emphasis on this, because after the Grafties, Cash made this comment to Connor, and Shakira stood there, and Shakira did not talk up about this. So I gotta point this out, right? Cash said to Connor, you know, I was surprised that Harry said that everything went downhill after him, right? And he made the hand gesture, which Harry did say that. However, that comment was made by Shakira. And anyone that wants to argue back with me and say it wasn't, I will bet you £100 that it was made first by Shakira. Shakira said, maybe I shouldn't be betting £100 because I'm broken now. But anyways, let me take back my bet. But I'm not going to £100 no go. But Shakira said it was downhill after that. And then Harry expanded with him enough self and was even more like, yeah, it went downhill, and he kept expanding on it. But it was Shakira that first said it went downhill after Harry. Right? Because Cash mentioned it and said it was more kind of like a disrespect towards Connor, because Connor was with Shakira. When they played that clip, I looked at Connor and I thought to myself, is Connor picking up on what Shakira just said? But then when the whole thing was finished and Cash mentioned it, and I'm like, hold on a minute, this one is being pushed on Harry. But it's not just Harry. Shakira was the one that mentioned it, and then Harry expanded on it. Right? So I don't know, but let me just say what throws me completely off, which I do not understand, and it really annoyed me so much. Harry and Connor's conversation. Connor pulled Harry and said to him, what you doing? What's your move? What's your action, your plan of action? What is it you want? And he has the motherfudging nerves to look that man in the eye and tell him that he thought for him, Helena is more of a friendship thing where he could see Shakira in a relationship. A friendship thing. Suppose Helena did give me coochie. A friendship thing. You've been hugging, kissing this girl and talking about how nobody can compare to Helena in there. And now you can say Helena is just a friendship thing? And then he's going to sit over with Helena and say, well, I know you're done, but, you know, let me just explain da. No. No. A friendship thing? You thought them money are dangerous? A friendship thing? This is what happens, ladies, when we let it slide. Let me tell you something. If a guy break a little pint off this pencil, right? And you don't say anything, he's going to come back and he's not going to break a pint of a pencil. He's going to break a little bit more of the pencil. And if you don't say anything and he gets away, he's going to snap the pencil in half. And if you don't say nothing and he's going to pluck the half that you're left with, snap it again. He's going to keep pushing the boundaries. Keep pushing to see what he can get away with. Keep taking the piss. Why? Because when he disrespected you the first time, you allowed him to disrespect you again. You did not pull him up on it. So at the end of the day, because you allowed him to disrespect you the first time, he's going to come back and disrespect you again. And guess what? Because when he disrespects you the second time, he's just coming in back to think, did I really get away with that? Let me see. Let me do it again. Do you know what I'm saying? And when he keeps disrespecting you and you don't pull him up on it, after a while, the disrespect becomes the norm. And he will not have any respect for you. That's what happened with Helena. She kept letting everything slide. And that's the thing I forgot to mention in last night's video. When Megan was talking to both Meg and Helena and said, listen, the one thing I would say about you guys, you allow the boys to get away with too many things. You need to stand on business. You need to have a backbone, because at the end of the day, they were taking the piss and you guys kept letting them get away with it. I like that. That's what I forgot, because I did it in the first video that I end up losing. But I forgot to put it in the second video. I wanted to point that out because I felt like a lot of friends, sometimes they're not honest to you, right? And they know that you're doing something stupid, but they don't tell you that you're doing something stupid. Not to your face anyways. So when Megan said it to them, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm glad that she was able to do that, because what Megan was saying to them was actually what we were all thinking. And like I said last night, you know what I'm saying? Harry keeps doing it. And if he's doing what he's doing in front of their faces, what is he going to do on the outside? And it's the same thing Megan come and she said tonight. If you do even decide to take him back, can you imagine what he's going to be doing when them girls start sending him DMs? Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm glad that Helena, as much as I know that she didn't want to do it, a part of her don't want to do it, I'm glad that she said to him it was done. But saying that you're done is one thing, but meaning that you're done is the next thing. I'm gonna need Helena to stand on business. Let me tell you something. If Helena, Lord Jesus, if Helena go back to Harry after this, we have to go hand over for her case to Jesus, because only God can help her. Me, but I give up. Man, I go try. If Helena go back to Harry, may I tell you, we might as well just pray, because only God can help her. Because if you see all of this and you still go back, you're more than man clown, you know. I'm going to just paint your face. Your nose red. I'm going to just do some lipstick on your cheek. And I'm going to bring one hand. Because at this point, you are unsavable. Anyhow, she go back to him, she unsavable. Because may I tell you, that the yama bella there would have be undeniable. I'm not gonna lie. That the yam head situation, undeniable, she go back. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's gonna say to this a boy I love manipulate. He might go say to Helena, yes, I still have feelings for Shakira, but I would never go back to Shakira. Honey, honestly, I wouldn't go back to Shakira. It's whether Shakira would go back to you. That's the fact of the matter. Because the way you hang around Shakira like a puppy dog, you would have more than likely go back with Shakira. Do you know what I'm saying? But Shakira have a little bit more sense than that. You get where I come from? Yes, but they say like she has slip and go like she want to slide. But I think after tonight, she not going to slip and slide like that. You get where I come from? She not going to slip and slide like that. So it's not that you, Harry, don't want to go back. It's because Shakira now going to take you back. Let's face it. And I'm hoping that Helena does the same damn thing, because at the end of the day, you might as well stay in there and just enjoy yourself until you get dumped, just like I said yesterday, or you walk. But at the end of the day, enjoy the free holiday. But do not go back to that man. And if she don't stand on business, may I tell you, you can rip her apart at the comments if you don't want to. If we are watch and we realize that Helena is not standing on business, you can rip her apart. In the comments, I wouldn't even defend her. Me not defend her, because at the end of the day, fool me once, nah, fool me twice. But the 13th or 14th time, him fool she. You get where I come from? And like me say, if she go back, yes, I'm proud of her for standing up for herself, because I don't think she ever stand up to this boy. So she actually stood up for herself. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell that she really, it's not just what we're seeing, because if they can say, and Connor can say, you know, I was proud of you for you standing up to him, that means it's not just what we're seeing. It means that it's the same thing inside the villa. She's just not standing up to Harry at all. She's not defending herself. She's not, you know, she's just allowing herself to just take on board all these things that's been going on and accepting all this rubbish and everything that's been going on. But tonight, she stood up for herself. Tonight, she made a decision, and Connor allowed her to make that decision before he actually informed her about what he said, what Harry said about her being more of a friendship thing. And you know what? I'm glad that Connor allowed her to make that decision before he told her, because I wanted her to make that decision based on the fact of what she saw, how he treated her, how he behaved, not make the decision on the fact that, you know, I'm only saying it because, you know, now I find out that he doesn't want me. And he says that I'm a friend. Because at the end of the day, no man that truly loves and cares for you will treat you like that. No man that really cares and loves for you will disrespect you like that. No man that truly loves and cares for you will put you in a situation for people to look at you and think you're stupid, to laugh at you, or for you to question your place in that man's life. No man that cares about you will do that. And at the end of the day, everything that is bad, Harry has done. Everything. I'm not saying that Harry's a bad person. I think Harry is probably worse than what's his name? Than Harrison. Harry's worse than Harrison. He's the worst of all the boys in there. The worst. Because at least Harrison will go for one person. He tells them the truth. Well, he will play it or, mess about. But at the same time, when it comes to it, he'll make a decision. Yes, he always goes back on his decision. But at the end of the day, he tried to make a decision. Harry, nah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Let me see if I've forgotten anything. But guys, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really not. It was crazy. I can't believe that man said friendship thing. It's more of a friendship thing. Because the moment I heard him say, "Oh, I'm not gonna stick with Helena just because Shakira doesn't want me. If I have to be alone, then I have to be alone." And then when I heard him say that, I'm like, that not sound right. And then when him said about Shakira, Helena and him is more like a friendship vibes. Friendship vibes, You see friendship vibes, you make somebody exclusive. Friendship vibes, are you keeping us say, oh, nobody compared to her in the villa. Friendship vibes, and you're telling her this and you're telling that. That's why I said, ladies, when you see the red flag them, don't take them and try to make no bed with them. You get me I come from? When you see the red flag them, do not take them and put them over your pillow case or over your bed and act like, say, a design. Don't do it. You see the red flag, you walk away and leave it alone because them crosses here out here are crosses in. All right. But anyways, guys, it is Friday. I think I've said everything that I wanted to say. So I'm going to wrap up. So if you haven't yet liked the video, please give the video a thumbs up, please and thanks. This is probably my longest video that I've made, actually. So give the video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Let's see what happens on Sunday, because you can tell where like everybody is like shocked by Harry's behavior. Everyone's shocked by his behavior because even like D is like shocked because D has always been team Helena and Harry, right? And to be honest, in hindsight, I feel like it makes me wonder whether Harry just went for Helena because he knew that D was always saying, I think Helena is good for you, But even Connor said, like, to them, like, what you have with Helena is good. So I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe he just went with Helena because he felt like everybody wanted him to be with Helena. And it goes back to show that he probably wasn't lying when he said to Shakira, everybody wants me to be with Helena apart from you and me. So maybe he was telling the truth. Maybe he didn't actually want to be with Helena all along. Maybe that was the truth. Do you see what I'm saying? But he allowed people to get in his ears telling how good him and Helena would be. And maybe that's why I end up with Helena. I don't know. But even still, you're a grown-ass motherfucking man. You should be able to make your decisions by yourself. If me tell you to jump off our bridge, you're going to jump off our bridge? Okay. So make your decision your damn self. You're a big man. Act accordingly. Act accordingly. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm hoping, and this is my hope for the villa, is for the girls to try and put aside their differences. I need the girls, because before Grafties, I feel like they were getting along better and probably the best since they've all been in there. I just want them to get on. They're not gonna ever be friends in there, some of these people. They probably won't. Do you see what I'm saying? But I just want them to just try and get on, because this riff was caused over a guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Or a few guys, or a couple of guys. It was caused over a guy. And I will also say this, and I've wanted to say this, and I keep forgetting in the last few episodes, right? Cash, I really like Cash. I do. But for some reason, and you know what? Part of me like Cash and Tony together. I don't know why, right? But for some reason, there's a part of me that also likes Harrison and Tony. But I'm a bit worried, because it's been in my head and playing in my mind, Tony lives in America and Harrison lives in America, right? In Miami. And I feel like, you know, remember Harrison went to the school that Tony used to go to, right? And my concern is, right now, Harrison has chosen to be with Lauren. But there's a lot of feelings there from Tony's side towards Harrison. Cash lives in the UK. What will happen when they come out of the villa and Tony moves back to the US and Harrison is back over there? I know that they're going to meet up. And I feel like where they are now, there's a lot of feelings. I feel like there's going to be unfinished business that's going to play out for them. It just came in my mind. And I've been wanting to say it. And I feel like this back and forth with Tony and Harrison is not done. And I think it will happen when they both go back to where they're living. I just wanted to put that out there. But anyways, guys, I am finished with this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for communicating with me. Thank you for agreeing with me and disagreeing with me respectfully. I appreciate you guys so much for that. Don't stop. Never stop doing it at all, because I actually like it. I like that we're able to communicate like that. I hope you guys have a lovely weekend. Now, I've been off for the last 2 days and I'm going back to work tomorrow. I'm working this weekend, guys. Oh, Lord, I know. Ooh. I'm working this weekend, but I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and I will see you guys on Sunday for Sunday's review. But for now, keep it sassy, licious.